Greetings, the Hijabi gamer here, and yeah, it looks like the cat is running around next door. So if you hear a faint tingle sound, that's the bell on her collar. But anyway, so for the last couple of hours, I've been thinking more and more about the live stream event with Zack Snyder. I am aware of that excuse for an article written by the Wrap. I've seen more of the video responses by Jeremy and the Geeks and Gamers team, and I also saw the live stream by Midnight's Edge, where Uche spoke more about the behind the scenes with Zack Snyder. And all of this has made me reevaluate my opinion on what has happened, specifically concerning WB, whom I'm extremely disappointed and angry with. As for Zack Snyder, from what Uche has been saying, it sounds like WB forced him to make the statement. That he was very uncomfortable while making it, that he may have actually been reading from something, that he was trying to rush through it to get to the actual event, cut through the unpleasantness to the part he was looking forward to. It was very poorly worded, but as someone who has put my foot in my mouth on multiple occasions, I can relate. The best way to put it is, these videos, which usually end up being about 10 minutes long, take me on average 5 to 6 hours to make. And even after I finally do upload a video, I go back and rewatch it several times, cursing myself over some of the things I included, and regretting not including others. There have even been several instances where I've gone back and made a video private because I didn't like what I was hearing. So yeah, something I can definitely relate to. In addition, from what I've heard, Zack Snyder isn't much of a public speaker. Again, something I can relate to. But, unlike Zack Snyder, I can go back and re-record the same video 100 times till I get it how I want it. But yeah, I get that too. Finally, from what Uche has said, Zack Snyder is very grateful to the fans. First off, this is a charity that is very dear to him. And he had mentioned in the live stream multiple times how grateful he was. Also, if you really think about it, this Snyder cut of the film would not have been possible without the fans. He would not have gotten this opportunity to bring his vision to life without them. To think fans united together to put up bulletin boards requesting this Snyder cut. It must be very flattering and maybe even a bit overwhelming for him. So, while I can understand why some people are angry with Zack Snyder, and I can respect that anger, mine is primarily focused on WB, whom, as I said, I feel very disappointed and angry with. Listening to all that has happened has reminded me a lot of the history of the original series of Star Trek. I used to be very interested in the behind-the-scenes making of the show. I even read William Shatner's autobiographies. They're actually pretty funny. In the first one, he talks about how he used to hide Leonard Nimoy's bicycle. On one occasion, he hung it from the ceiling of the soundstage, and when Leonard Nimoy burst in very angry, trying to find his bicycle, it was hanging over his head. Yeah. Now, I'm sure many of you are aware, but the original series of Star Trek was only going to have 2 seasons. However, the fans so wanted more Star Trek, they had letter writing campaigns. They wrote so many letters that, now I'm only paraphrasing, but from what I understand, the studio basically begged them to please, dear God, stop sending us letters, you're getting your 3rd season. Now I'm sure some of us, in hindsight, probably regret that 3rd season. It isn't the best. 2 words come to mind. Spock's brain. Yeah. I don't think I've even seen the entire 3rd season. It's that bad. Though I'm sure there's some people who do like it. But I don't remember reading about backlash or anger or hate or toxic fans who want more Star Trek. On the contrary, the studio saw they had an eager audience, and was willing to make this third season for them. They did cut costs, and they changed the time, but they were still willing to make that third season. In addition, I do remember reading about early Star Trek conventions. Now, these were back before conventions were a business, back when they were real fan events, when fans would get together, pool their money, rent a hall, get together to share in the love of the fandom. Now, I can't remember any specific instances because it's been a while since I read the books, but I do know NASA at some point let them borrow a backdrop of some sort, and I do know that there was more positivity from the studio, from Gene Roddenberry, and from the actors. I think there were even occasions where, like, Gene Roddenberry would randomly show up, or one of the actors would happen to be in the area and would just show up, and people would go absolutely nuts. I think Leonard Nimoy even said at one point that you couldn't get a word out because people were constantly cheering when they were on stage. So again, fandom is associated positively, not negatively, not like what we're seeing now, where if you're a fan of Star Wars, well, they're toxic people. Watch out for them. Anyway, this is why I'm so deeply disappointed and angry with WB, because I feel that they wasted a great opportunity to reach out to the fans. As I said, and then as I'm sure you're aware, the Snyder Cut would not have been possible without the fans. I think some kind of acknowledgement should have been done. Even something as very simple as, in the credits, a special thank you to the fans who made this possible. Perhaps even including the names of some of the bigger fan organizations that got together to collect money for the bulletin boards. So even Geeks and Gamers should have been listed. Instead, to tell Zack Snyder that they are not associated with Geeks and Gamers is disappointing. Can you imagine the positive response if instead WB had told Zack Snyder to say something along the lines of, "We appreciate our fans. We want to be associated with the fans." I feel also what would have been wonderful if WB had actually backed the charity event. This isn't just some random group doing a charity. Geeks and Gamers has a history of working on large charities. Big donations, not something small, involving thousands of dollars. So it isn't as if, like, I were to go to Bungie and be like, "Hey, Bungie, I'll do a live stream, collect money for cat shelters or something." They've never heard of me, whereas Geeks and Gamers is different. So maybe if they had donated props from the movie for the auction, instead of removing the Geeks and Gamers logo, they should have kept it prominent, showing that, yes, we support the fans. Can you imagine how many more people would have signed up for HBO Max if instead of responding negatively to the fans, WB had reached out and responded positively? These are the people that they are turning away, are their paying customers. The majority of the people in that live stream were there either because they care about the charity or they care about the Snyder Cut. They were willing to put their money where their mouths are. Whereas the idiots on TwitTwat were whining about Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers, they couldn't care less about the Snyder Cut. They're probably the ones who've been whining for weeks and months about the toxic fans. Why are you pandering to them when you should be pandering to Geeks and Gamers? To the people who collected thousands of dollars in charity money. As Jeremy and Kristanova and others have pointed out, in that garbage article by The Wrap, they didn't even have the decency to say it was a charity live stream event. Why? Because they don't want people to realize that Geeks and Gamers was doing something good? Anyway, this is why my opinion has changed. Originally, I didn't feel very hostile towards WB, but then I started thinking about the history of fandoms and how studios used to be more positive about it. And now it seems, I'm sorry, but it boggles my mind. As someone who works in retail, I'm not even a salesperson. I'm basically the person who collects the order. So you put in an order, and you go to pick it up in store. I'm the one who finds your stuff and puts it aside for you. I do, however, sometimes interact with customers because I'm on the sales floor. But even I have enough common sense to know you don't insult your customers. And at the end of the day, who are WB's customers? The people on Geeks and Gamers? Or the idiots on TwitTwat crying about toxic fandoms? Anyway, I just wanted to put out my revised thoughts on everything that has happened. I do still stand with Geeks and Gamers and with Jeremy and all of the members of the Geeks and Gamers team. I also suggest you watch out for those crazy cats in Stormtrooper armor, or the Tyranid cats in Stormtrooper armor. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And now I'm off to watch The Rise of Skywalker because apparently, why not? Might be, no, what? Who am I kidding? It's going to be a nightmare. Anyway, again, thank you for watching.